Hey everyone, thanks for watching our deck tech here on YouTube. If you like what you see, go ahead, hit subscribe down below, leave a little comment. It really helps us out. If you want to help even more, you can go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/commandersbrew. Get in on the Patreon, get in on the Discord, and help us actually brew the decks. You'll see today we had some great help from our friends on the Discord, and you can be in there too. But without further ado, let's start talking about this deck. Selesnya Angels. This is a deck, Sean, that I've been looking at making for a while.
Yeah,
I will
Selesnya Angels.
Yeah. I always keep a note of when a cool, when a known tribe that people like, when they get a cool card, and then you're like, ooh, is it time to brew this deck now? Is this deck, improved enough, or maybe just has a different angle? Bishop of Wings was a card that made me look at Angels again and be like, oh, this card is really cool. But overall, I've just been always had an Angels based deck in the back of my head. So it was fun to put this one together finally. Although also a bit of a rude awakening was also experienced during this, and we'll get to that when we start talking about the reason green was actually added to the deck. But let's just first talk about the commander. So at first I had Sigarda, Host of Herons, the classic green-white commander that has hexproof. I think you have hexproof, or is that the other one? Anyways, it doesn't matter because we're not using that card. Actually, a better card for this deck was suggested to us by our boy JP in our Discord. Again, check out our Patreon if you want to get in on that.
And check out JP's episode of Battle of the Brews.
That's right. Yes, exactly. We had a real fun time playing Battle of the Brews with him. He suggested Shalai, Voice of Plenty, and it was a great suggestion, and I decided to go with it.
I keep forgetting that these have different color identities.
I
and
know.
It's a different activated ability, but Shalai counts as Selesnya.
It's why I didn't think of it right away. So
yeah,
Shalai, Voice of Plenty is 3 and a white for a legendary angel, 3/4 flying. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. That's just a very good ability.
That's so good.
And then you can pay 4 green, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So you get a little permanent anthem for each 6 mana you spend there. So this is just a great utility commander. There's not a lot of extra synergy going on here with Shalai, but her abilities are just so strong that it's really great. It really does work.
Yeah.
It synergizes just on a raw power level, right?
Yeah, hexproof is such a valuable commodity in a commander deck, especially, although ironically enough, your commander is the only thing that doesn't get hexproof. So unless you have something to back it up, which I'm sure there are plenty of ways to give Shalai herself hexproof.
Oh, many ways. So yeah, I wanted this to be an Angels deck, which you would think would be mono white, but because of some restrictions in white, which again I'll talk about in a sec, we decided to add that green, get Shalai in here, and now let's take a look at all of Shalai's NMF.
Working on a
Neat.
Okay. Sean, let's start off by just mentioning a couple key angels. We're going to obviously talk about angels a lot this deck, but let's just talk about these 3 angels right off the top here.
Angels are meant to inspire awe. When an angel shows up, we are meant to be in awe because they should be awesome. And these are no exception. Safara Sky's Blade, 4 white. Legendary Angel, 7/7 flying and lifelink. That's awesome already. However, you can pay a single white and tap 4 untapped creatures with flying that you control and get Safara out for almost nothing. And other creatures you control with flying have indestructible. She's got those skies covered. So if you've got Safara and Shalai, now all of your flyers are indestructible and hexproof.
It's tough.
It's pretty good.
Tough to deal with anything if you get this combination, for sure.
Do you like keywords? Because Lyra Dawnbringer's got your back. 3 white, legendary angel, 5/5 flying. First strike, lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Now your team also has lifelink.
Yep, pretty sweet.
This next one does not give abilities to the whole team, unfortunately. Karmic Guide, 3 white, angel spirit, 2/2 flying, and protection from black. So if they can get through the hexproof, they still can't murder it. It's got echo, so when Karmic Guide comes down, the very next turn, you have to pay the Echo cost or sacrifice Karmic Guide. However, when Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, you get to return a creature from your graveyard straight to the battlefield. So sometimes we like Karmic Guide to go to the graveyard on its own so we can bring it back via other means.
That is correct. And these are just some cool angels. The first two could have been commanders in their own right of this deck. But again, we'll talk about adding green to the deck and making that not a possibility.
Do you know what? I'm looking at the art on Karmic Guide. I always thought that sort of oval shaped thing was the head of the Karmic Guide, and that this yellow was just sort of background stuff. I'm only realizing that the Karmic Guide is very tiny in the art.
Yeah, the Karmic Guide is the angel in the top left-ish.
What's
area,
that ball?
And that's her wings. And that ball thing is whoever she's bringing back from the graveyard.
They're in a ball floating back.
Yeah, they're being reborn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was their head, their round head.
The old art is much clearer. Just an angel with, like, I don't know, spirit coming out of her hand.
Straight out of a graveyard.
Yeah, straight out of a graveyard. Yeah, literally, she's in a graveyard. It's very literal. Back in the day, they didn't mess around. They just showed you what was happening.
Hey, can you draw me an angel taking a ghost out of a grave?
Yes, I can. Replied Heather Hudson.
Do those checks still work? Yes.
The art direction: angel, possibly in graveyard, helping ghost. Check. I gotcha. I mentioned this card already, but obviously this goes well with any of these angels. Is Bishop of Wings. It's the white 1/4 human cleric, one of the rare non-angels in the deck. From M20, whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life, and then whenever an angel you control dies, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So there's just a neat thing going on there. If you notice, Karmic Guide is an angel and a spirit. That's kind of cool. There's some spirit synergy going on in this deck, and there's a weird combination of angels caring about spirits or angels doing things with spirits. So Bishop of Wings is helpful for that. Gaining life, as you can see, is also going to be a main theme with these angels. Don't take this deck into a quick game. If you need to play a game quickly because everyone's got to go in like half an hour, don't play this deck because you're going to gain a lot of life and it's probably going to drain the game out a little bit. But if this is the first deck of the night, go for it. It's not going to be overly long, but it's going to add a little time because you're going to gain some life.
I could see a world where like the game goes fast anyway because no one can touch your Safara and
That's
you're just
true.
like beaten down for huge flying damage every turn.
That is true. So yeah, let's take a look at this neat move. Speaking of life gain, these all kind of chain together. So we got the angels into Bishop of Wings, into this next life gain little duo here.
Ooh, Trostani Selesnya's voice. Classic original Trostani. Green, white, 2/5 Dryad legendary. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to their toughness. So we're gaining life all over the place. And we can pay 1 green, white tap to populate, and which means make a copy of any token, a creature token that you already control.
And you could make an argument that Trostani would be an even better commander for this deck, but I think it's like you want to have an angel at the helm. You want to show people what they're dealing with.
Trostani doesn't even fly.
Exactly. You said the populate bit, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's, of course, Angelic Chorus, which is very similar. It has Trostani's ability of the gain life enter ETB thing for toughness. It's a 5-mana enchantment that does a similar thing. And you pair any of those two up with Resplendent Angel or not Righteous Aura. What's the other one? Angelic Accord. I forgot to put it in the notes. Anyways, Resplendent Angel is 1 white for a creature. It's an angel. It's a 3/3 flying. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, you create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Very good. You just get a Sarah Angel. And you can pay 3 white until end of turn. Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. Obviously, then Resplendent Angel can be the source of that 5 life for you. But generally speaking, the 5 life isn't going to be hard to come by in this deck. So it's fine. And Angelic Accord is just a very similar card. It's 3 and a white, except it's an enchantment, which you'll see has payoffs. For in the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token. So this one doesn't have vigilance. So you'll need to make sure you've got your angel tokens separated because there's vigilant ones and then there's non-vigilant ones. It's like they
Yeah.
just recently started adding the vigilance to them because of the whole, I guess, because Sarah, like the Planeswalker, made them. And anyways, but yeah, a lot of 4/4 angel tokens going around in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I notice you've got Righteous Aura in here. This is 1 and a white for an enchantment. Aura goes on a creature. No, it's not an aura.
No, it's not an aura.
It's
It's
a regular
confusing
enchantment.
because it's not an aura. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Righteous Aura. I'm like, but it's not an aura. It's an old card. It's from Mercadian Masks, so they didn't know how to name things.
Yeah.
They just didn't know what the future would hold. So
No, they didn't know.
It's an enchantment. Pay a white and 2 life. No taps. You can do this as many times as you want. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. I mean, if we're gaining all kinds of life, paying 2 life and a single white mana is very easy to do. Are you an infect deck? Don't matter. Doesn't work on me.
Yeah.
Are you trying to win the game with a humongous like X spell like a Comet Storm? Don't matter. Won't work.
Yeah.
It won't stop something like a Niv Mizzet who just does damages in batches of 1 over and over.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty good.
Yeah, and it's of course the main way people would beat this deck is with like something like that, like a big X spell or a commander damage or something. And Righteous Aura is like good protection against both of those things.
I mean, it sounds like milling is the way to beat this deck.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, I just thought that this was a neat card. It was a candidate for a surprise and discovery, just because I think a lot of life gain decks, it's like, oh, this will dissuade attacks also.
Yeah,
'Cause they'll just be like,
I mean,
well, I guess I'll make you spend the mana, but like I'm attacking you. For
unless it's like a token swarm, right?
Yes.
Like if you're gonna take less than 2 damage, it doesn't make sense.
No.
So like a ton of 1/1s, I guess, is the way to get through. Also,
Definitely it is the way to do that. So yeah, we have also, so we've got a lot of life gain, so that's something you can do with your life. Righteous Aura can prevent a lot of damage, but there's 2 alt win cons basically that I've included in the deck. One is Celestial Convergence.
well, this is not an alt win con, Andy.
What do you mean? Of course it
This
is.
is not an okay.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Okay.
So Celestial Convergence is 2 whites and enchantment. It comes into play with 7 omen counters on it. So this is very slow. But at the beginning of your upkeep, remove an omen counter, and if there are no omen counters on it, the player with the highest life total wins the game.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm proven incorrect. This is by strictest definition an alt win con.
If 2 or more players are tied, the game is a draw. So your 7 go-rounds at the table. Most games don't last that long, apparently. That's a long time in Commander. So, like,
Yeah.
don't get too excited about this card. I'm going to just preface this, right? Like, this card is not actually that good. If you can find some ways to remove counters, this card gets very good. So keep an eye peeled for those, which we don't have in the deck. But
what does Solemnity do? I forget what that card does.
oh yeah, Solemnity would do it, right?
Solemnity is that weird enchantment from Hour of Devastation.
Oh, no, it
Players
just
can't get
stops.
counters, and counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. So if you cast this after you cast Solemnity, it enters play with no counters on it.
And then it would wait till your upkeep for the highest.
And then, yeah.
So you could definitely make that happen. I just included it just because it's a card that this deck would care about and want. And if you wanted to kind of build around this a bit more, you certainly could. So I just wanted to tell. But really the main one we'd be looking at here is Test of Endurance. 2 white. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 50 or more life, you win the game.
Wow.
So what you should do really is take out Celestial Convergence and put in Felidar Sovereign, which is a similar ability. But we wanted these on enchantments. And again, I just wanted to point out that card because I thought it was neat.
Can I make an argument for with Felidar Sovereign though? That's a creature who is protected from hexproof with Shalai. Like nothing's protecting your enchantments from getting destroyed.
Agreed. That's why that would be a very good choice for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to win with that life gain, this actually is a good thing for your opponents. And hear me out here. Because there's nothing worse than a player who just sits back, gains all this life, has a bunch of creatures, and doesn't do anything. It's like, come on, man. We all got to try and attack you just to win this game. Like, this is going to take forever. Whereas if I had Test of Endurance out, it's only going to last one more turn around the table.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm just going to win. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. So,
Yeah.
so that's why I think these are actually good for the game and good for the deck and everything. So they're neat.
Yeah. I noticed we've also got we've been hinting at enchantments and stuff like that. And we are running Sigil of the Empty Throne,
You have
3
to.
white for an enchantment. And whenever you cast an enchantment, you get a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. This is not the Vigilance Angel. This is the regular flying one.
Yeah.
So maybe these ones are shorter. I imagine the ones with Vigilance are taller because they're always upright. I don't know why in my mind that's what I
That
imagine.
means taller as well. Yeah, no, I'm into that.
For some reason, like I want the tall angel tokens to be the Vigilance and the short angel tokens to be the ones that tap.
Yeah, that's right.
And finally, I love that you found a good use for this card. Song of the World Soul, 4 white enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, populate. I'm glad they finally printed this card. They've got a history of like a bunch of enchantments that use whenever you cast a spell, do this ability that we invented in this set. We got it with Proliferate, but we never got it with Populate. We got one Populate during your upkeep, but this one makes way more sense to me. And again, I much rather run this kind of card in a deck. I'm making crazy angels. I don't care about copying a couple of tokens here or there, but if I'm copying 4/4 angels, that's good.
4/4 angels, that's good, man. And of course, so since we have Sigil of the Empty Throne, it's going to be nice, and even actually Song of the World Soul, it's going to be nice to have our ramp be something that those cards care about. So Wild Growth, cards like this, the enchantments that go on a land, and they can make your land tap for like an additional green, or there's a couple other ones that like it can tap for 2 of any color, that sort of thing. Those are going to be great here. Because again, if you're casting like 1 mana ramp spells, like that's great for both, again, Song of the World Soul as well as Sigil of the Empty Throne. Whether you're getting up to those cards or you've already got them out, these cards are still relevant. That's the key with this enchantment ramp stuff. It's like if you've already ramped and you're up there, you're up past 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, these cards are still active as good cards that you are happy to draw, right? So
yeah,
love that. I love
that's so good.
Yeah, I love using these cards for that reason. It's really, really strong in green-white.
I never looked at the art of Wild Growth before, too. It looks like it's hurting the tree a little bit.
It's like hugging the tree.
But it's ripping some bark off of it.
It's growing so fast, the bark can't even keep up.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay,
Or is the wild growth of the vine
on top of the trees?
Yeah. If you stop to listen, you can hear it grow.
Ew. It sounds like Ernest.
Yeah. Eggs erroneous.
Oh, eggs erroneous. Oh, man. Jim Varney, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Comedy great. Say what you will about how silly those movies were. Like Jim Varney was a fantastic performer.
Oh, he's the best. Oh, and coming in for Harry's pick, a new segment on the show is our boy Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Triple H. So, what's your pick for this week? It looks like it's the next one on the list, oddly enough.
Harry picks Shamanic Revelation. I'll speak for Harry because he's not at a language level yet. But it's 3 green for a sorcery. You get to draw a card for each creature you control, and you gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Harry, that's a great choice.
Great choice. There's life gain, there's card draw. You might say this card was why we added green to the deck. What do you think? Yeah, pretty good. Great choice, Harry. And there's some other cards like it as well. You want to read those?
Ooh, Soul's Majesty, 4 and a green. Draw cards equal to the power of target creature you control. You have to target to do this, so sometimes there's a danger of this spell getting fizzled if they destroy or deal with the creature. But with Shalai, they can't do that easily.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Rishkar's Expertise does not target. It's 4 green. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. If they do remove your biggest power creature, it will just look at the next biggest creature. So you'll always get something from this unless they somehow deal with all of your creatures. And then you get to cast a card with converted mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Even if they deal with all your creatures, you at least get to do that.
Absolutely. So, speaking of this green thing that I keep hinting at, right?
This green thing.
So I wanted to make this deck mono white to begin with, and I think I had Lyra Dawnbringer as the the commander because
a sensible commander.
Pumps the angels, gives them all lifelink, very good commander in and of herself. So it's great. But then like you just have no way to draw cards because any of the decent or half decent, I should say, white draw spells are like Mentor the Meek and stuff, right? Like they care about little creatures. So we don't even have a real way to really take advantage of the fact that we have all these angels. So the only thing I could, well, not the only thing, but like I thought the most effective way that I could do it was green cares about creatures and green can draw cards because of those creatures. So I guess I've got to add green. And then of course you get the added bonus that, okay, now I can ramp more naturally, right? I don't have to just rely on, colorless artifact ramp only, which, isn't bad obviously, but it's, green's going to help us with that, get some lands out. It helps us with the enchantment, obviously ramp thing we were talking about. So it's like, it's kind of not fair, like, but I had to add green. And there's been a lot of discussion lately in multiple formats, whether it's been Commander, whether it's been Limited, that like, and Standard even, that the white cards they've been making lately are just not cutting it. And I just want to say, like, I know the color pie exists for a reason. Like, this could be a whole blog topic, really. But we know about the color pie. We know that, like, that's very important to the game. It's very important to, why it's so good, really, right? Yeah, I got to add green because I don't have access to certain things, right? That's great. But every other color gets card draw. Red has the next most trouble with it, but even then they've added a way to make that work and make sense for red. And we've talked about this on the set review and everything. I agree with something you said, Sean, where drawing cards is a like basic game mechanic. It's not just like a philosophy thing, which I think obviously it was for a long time. Blue was the color where we drew cards, right? And we drew cards the most effectively, and that can still be true, right? Green relies on creatures to draw cards, right? Black, often you're paying life to draw cards. I have no problem with that. But the basic, like red can draw a card, but you can only use it for the next turn or the next,
or you have to discard to get it.
Discard something
like rummaging. Yeah.
White's the only color where like drawing a card isn't even an option. Like we have to like use that one really good, and I will admit it's really good, colorless spell that cares about life gain. Like maybe that's where we can put the white draw. Maybe I have to gain life in order to be able to draw that turn or something. You know what I mean? And we don't need Rhystic Study in white. I don't need Treasure Cruise in white. I wouldn't hate a Rishkar's expertise in white. Though, you know what I mean?
But like I see no reason. Yeah, while we're on the topic, I think Rhystic Study could be color shifted to white. Like they would never print that card again. But it seems more of a white card. It's taxing your opponents.
Card. Yeah, no,
right?
You're right.
But I think
Shamanic Revelation could be a white card.
Yeah, draw cards equal to creatures you control. Hello, white likes to have lots of creatures
for 4. Yeah. Like put an angel in this art and you gain life for power 4 or greater. Like angels are 4 power. Like it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, right. Draw cards for each creature with 1 or less power if you care about small stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes,
how about just like a regular enchantment? Maybe this enchantment costs 5 that says like whenever you gain life, you can spend 1 and draw a card, right? Like tie it to life gain. Like that's no one can complain. Write me if you are a color pie purist. If you are a color pie purist and you truly believe white does not deserve card draw, please write to me and tell me how that is good for the game.
Yeah.
Please write me and tell me how and also if you're a color pie purist, I know you don't run Harmonize in your decks.
Yeah.
If you want to say you're a color pie purist, you better not run Harmonize.
Well,
you better not.
To be fair, that is from the set where they specifically set out to break the color pie, right?
Well, but if the color pie purists are gonna say like that happened, so we're okay with it, it's like you can't have it both ways. You either insist that the color pie remains pure, or you reach back, then you should have no problem with them printing a weird new color shifted card like White Ristic Study, and just like we get to say it's just color shifted. Like you can't go both ways.
Yeah, like
anyone
smothering Tithe, but draw cards, which
why
is basically
not?
Ristic Study, kind of.
Why the heck not?
Yeah, I know. This is truly not fair to mono white decks, because this deck should be mono white. It's angels. It's mono white angels. It's life gain.
Yeah.
It's the stuff white does, but you can't expect to run this deck, and you just have to stretch so far. And you've seen us have to do it, like many episodes where we've had to stretch so far to get card draw for white and Boros, admittedly, decks. It's there, right? We can run Staff of Nin. We can run,
they're all artifacts.
But exactly, they're all artifacts. And what I wanted to do, and 6-mana artifacts, and like some people argue that's for their meta not really playable. Luckily for our meta, it is still. But what I'm saying is that, like, and I think they hear us. I know our guys, Jimmy and Josh, they've been saying some stuff like this. I know there's some rumblings in the community. And one thing I will say is that the people who are dealing with Commander over at WotC, they do tend to listen to these things. We've seen good responses from them in the past. So I do actually expect, I would probably guess in the next Commander Precon, this to be addressed a little bit. I'd expect to see some white. Like, for me, power level, just forget about power level. I don't care about that. I think you can have white be the attack and life gain color. It's fine. I just need a way to draw a card once in a while. That's all. I even think the white way they ramp, they putting planes into your hand, I'm cool with that. That's fine. I don't think white should get like strictly ramp like that. Blue doesn't have that. Red doesn't really have that. You know what I mean? Like that can be green, and then a little bit of the weird way black does it. But card draw is a game mechanic. I got to be able to draw an extra card once in a while, and I just want to be able to do it in white.
Why does this not sound like the most white card that there ever was? I'm gonna brainstorm 2 and a white instant. Draw cards for each creature attacking you.
Doesn't
right?
that card exist in blue?
Yeah, it exists in blue, but it doesn't have to be you. Like if it attacks anybody, right? Yeah. Like so, like if white punishes people for attacking, why can't we gain for people breaking the rules too? Right? It's like, okay, you're attacking me with 8 creatures. I got Settle the Wreckage. Why can't instead of exiling your 7 cards, why can't I draw 7 cards?
What about this? 4 mana, 2 white sorcery. Draw cards for each creature you have that with the same power toughness. So like, I don't know how, I might not have worded that correctly, but like basically it's like, oh, I've got 3 2/2s, so I can draw 3 cards off of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like choose a power toughness.
Sure.
Draw a card for each creature you have with that. Because white's all about order, right? White's all about even and order. So if we do that, where we have, then that can be the draw spell for white.
Man,
that sounds
how about
pretty good.
this? I'll brainstorm a million more of them. How about draw a card for each enchantment you control, enchanting opponents or opponents' permanents, right?
Yeah.
So if you're slinging enchantments around and like putting people in like ghostly prisons, you should get more cards for that.
How about that could be an enchantment that happens on your upkeep. Like each upkeep, draw a card for each enchantment you have in, like, because it just feels like maybe I could do it once for 3, but you could make that a truly good commander card for those decks and make it repeatable. You know?
Yeah, even if it's once for 3 though, I take it, right?
Yeah,
I'd take it, right?
Take it,
how about like draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control, right? Like why not that? Why not? Why not that? Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It sounds so reasonable.
Draw a card for each creature with vigilance you control.
Why the heck not?
Right?
Like it's
Vigilant thoughts. We can even name them.
We'll name these.
Yeah.
R&D, get us in there.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
I could do a million.
That is the deck, though. We've been talking with this picture of Rishkar's expertise for a long time. But that being said, Selesnya it works. It's fun. It's still fun to play with this. It's a shame we had to go into a different color to just get a little extra of the basic game mechanic of drawing cards. But we're here. We're doing it. Shalai's a great commander. Let's talk about surprises and discoveries for this deck. which we kind of went over a few already a little bit, but this one's good. It's from the brand new set. It's from Throne of Eldraine. It is Return of the Wild Speaker. This is a legit commander card. And again, this is why we're in green. 4 and a green for an instant. You choose one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. And or you can choose non-human creatures you control, get +3/+3 until end of turn. Well, these flying Vigilant Angels are going to love either version of this. Whether it's you want to just quickly draw, 4 cards, which is what it's going to be a lot of the time, or just pump your whole vigilant flying team. And whereas maybe it looked like, ooh, if I swing with all of them, I might be able to kill one player. Where it's like, now I can just kill everyone, right? And it's an instant. That's what's so good about it. It's not an overrun where then people can deal with your stuff. There's a good bit of utility in this card.
Wow. And the other good thing about it, it's currently a gumball.
A gumball.
This will go up. This will be at least $1 in the future.
You think so?
I guarantee. I think so. Like instant speed
right.
overrun
Draw
for like
the draw plus the overrun. It does make it quite
like good. Overwhelming Stampede is kind of win more, and I think this is better than Overwhelming Stampede.
They don't get trample, so this is like it's specifically good in this deck because all of our creatures are flying.
Yeah.
That's why I like it even more. But I think it's just good just for the draw.
Well, because you're going to get people, though, who didn't block, though.
Oh, totally. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Like, that's the thing. Like with Overwhelming Stampede, your opponents do the math, and they're like, oh, the math is I lose, right? But here, they're just like, are they doing the math? No. It's like, guess what? You just lost, and you didn't know it.
Right. Yeah. So very cool, and a bit of a surprise in that we're able to use it in this deck and use it very effectively.
Yes.
Surprise discoveries are done. That means it's time for the budget report. A bit.
We take the cards and we see which of them had bells ring so that they get their wings and are angels, and the ones that don't, straight to hell.
Yeah. Straight to hell. Kane choke slams them straight to hell. I was about to say, hey, yeah, you're right. This could be a little Christmassy style deck. Straight to hell.
Oh, boy.
Very good. Okay, so this one came out to a little more than I was expecting, to be honest. The TCG market price is at $106. So I didn't think this deck would crack 100, to be honest with you. But then when you take a closer look, you see what's going on. However, I will say the low is at 46, so that's very reasonable.
Under $50?
Yeah, under $50. So there's a couple of cards in here that are doing this, and one of them is Test of Endurance. That's the one I talked about, the 2 white, 50 or more life, you win the game. That's at $10.
That's a supply and demand thing. This is a judgment rare from a low set. It's an ability that only comes up very rarely.
Yeah, and there's other cards that do this ability. So if you want to save $10, I definitely recommend you do so. Maybe add Solemnity for this, right? And then that way you've got that little combo going. That'll help out for sure. The next
Resplendent Angel is that mythic angel from M19, the one that you can pay to pump it and give it lifelink. But if you've gained 5 life, you get an angel token. It's cheap, and it has a fantastic ability that just builds your board quickly. That's why this thing is like, $7, $8, $9, depending on where you go. So, and it's out of standard, but I don't know. Will Pioneer keep this expensive? I don't know. It's just a solid card. So.
Yeah. I feel like people are still trying to do stuff with it in standard a little bit, and maybe that's why it's
out of standard though. It's not legal.
You're right.
It's
M19. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, that's maybe mythic. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. This card is like really good for the deck, so I would like to keep it in. But if you're looking to, we got Angelic Accord in there. We got lots of ways to make tokens. Yeah. So if you need to save money, go for that. And then Lyra Dawnbringer, another like. This one's just around $5 or $6. Lyra's great. I wouldn't recommend you cut this one. If you're going to cut Resplendent Angel, keep Lyra in there. She's one of our few like true tribal cards where there aren't actually that many Angel tribal cards. That's one thing I will say I was very surprised by here. There's actually, like, cares about Angels. There's not that many cards. Lyra's one of them, so I like her in the deck. She's only $5, you know.
Yeah.
I'd keep her in there. Very, very good.
Neat.
You can save, you save $25 there. You get it down pretty low, and then I bet you that low price gets even lower.
Yeah.
Fave
cards?
You can actually find Lyra Dawnbringer for like $380 apparently, according to this. Anyways, favorite cards.
If you got a ton, favorite cards. Andy, what's your favorite card?
My favorite card is Descend Upon the Sinful. It's very on theme, and it's a board wipe that we don't mention as much as we should, I think. It's 4 white for a sorcery. You exile all creatures. This is a very, very strong ability in Commander.
Yes.
I recommend this be one of the board wipes you run. Just exiling all creatures is great, but also it has Delirium. You put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. We run a ton of artifacts for ramp, enchantments for ramp. We got our fair share of instants and sorceries, and obviously creatures. Like, it's not that hard to get Delirium going by the time you actually want to do a board wipe. So exiling all creatures is great, and then you can start it right up with a 4/4 angel and start populating or whatever it is you want to do, right? So
yeah,
great card.
Ooh, my favorite card. It's a good one. It is clearly my favorite card in the deck. Emeria Shepherd, 5 white, 4/4 flying angel, and it's got landfall. If a land comes into play, we want to check, is it a plains or is it not a plains? If it's a plains, we get to put any non-land permanent from our graveyard straight into the battlefield. If it is not a plains, we just put it right back to our hand.
Just put it in your hand.
Just put it in your hand. It's pretty good, right? This card is incredible. Drop in plains. This card makes bad, like, basic tutor cards like Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse. It makes those cards unbelievable because the Terramorphic hits.
No,
and
you can't use the land. Oh, you mean to get it back? I see what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. The Terramorphic hits and you get a small thing to your hand that you can cast, and then you turn it into a plains, and then you just get a big thing straight from your graveyard to the play.
Yep.
And this deck is no shortage of big things. Like, a lot of these angels are 6s, 7s, plenty of 5s. Like, Emeria Shepherd is an MVP in this deck.
Definitely. It's a really good little combo with Karmic Guide, too.
Oh, boy.
If you ever have the Karmic Guide in your graveyard already, you can get it back with Emeria Shepherd. And, of course, if Emeria Shepherd dies, hang on to your Karmic Guide and get it back. And then you can just keep that going forever. It's really
Hang
strong.
on to your Karmic Guide.
Yeah, hang on to your Karmic Guide, says Samuel L. Jackson in 93's Jurassic Park. But that's it. That's the deck. A lot of angels. Green support. A lot of green support there.
Yeah.
With rampant card draw and stuff, but definitely a fun deck, and it's fun to see a board full of 4/4 flying vigilant tokens. Although it's not strictly a token deck, there's a lot of just regular. The angels have a lot of really cool abilities. Like, just off the top of my head, there's I think it's called Jubilant Angel, which was mentioned in our Discord a bunch. I think that's the one where it, like, +1/+1 to all non-black creatures you control, and then, like, things can't be sacrificed.
Oh yeah,
right? Like, you can't, like,
that's a hateful
sacrificing
angel.
stuff is not a thing anymore.
Nor paying life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's, like, really good. There's a lot of angels with really cool abilities like that. So take a look at our deck list. It's over at TCG. The link under the YouTube video and in the show notes of the audio show. Go there, check it out. Check it out. If you're in the States, pick it up from TCGplayer. And then if you're in Canada, feel free to put that list right into the Wizards Tower. You can check out the actual deck list on MTG Canada under Commander's Brew and order it there if you're in Canada. That's it.
Thank you.
That's what you do. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see everyone next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCGplayer affiliate link below.
That helps us out too. And for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.